fantastic night in the capital city of North Carolina. It's the holiday season here in Raleigh, so gearing up for a Christmas special. James Madison, the preseason favorites in the Sun Belt. Not just holiday tandem gear, but a great Christmas matchup. NC State back in the top 25 rankings. And a fun night here in Reynolds Coliseum. Merry Christmas, everybody, and welcome to college basketball with Kai Crutchfield. I'm Evan Budrovich. This JMU program, not just holiday cheers, really good on the floor. Top 25 win over Florida. NC State dominant versus Louisville Sunday. Kai, what makes these teams dangerous in March?
Both teams have depth and experience. NC State dominated over Louisville, and that shows that they can execute on both ends of the floor. JMU has proven that they can hang out with those top-tier teams in competition like Notre Dame, Texas, and Florida, and that just shows the resilience of that team.
JMU has an elite point guard, Peyton McDaniel, three-time All-Conference in the Sun Belt. What makes her special?
She said it like this: she's a nominated preseason player of the year for the Sun Belt Conference, along with other accolades that she's had throughout her career. She's expanded on her game, taking the contact, driving to the basket, expanding on that three-point shot, getting some steals here, and even driving and attacking the basket. She's done a very good job her last few years here at JMU, and I'm sure she's going to continue to do that tonight. Top
scorer and rebounder for the Dukes. At NC State, what an elite guard tandem, Isaiah James and Sinai Rivers. What makes these two so important for the Pack?
These are the dynamic duo of NC State, of the Wolfpack. Sinai Rivers wasn't as comfortable shooting her three-point basket last year, but she's expanded on that. Isaiah James attacking the basket, spreading that defense, and then doing what she does best, and having that dynamic duo has been great for the Wolfpack this year.
Both in double figures Sunday against Louisville, and these numbers coming in both in the top 15 in the ACC. Look at All-American candidates. Those are two good ones right there in James and Rivers. Two programs that haven't met since the NIT back in 2013, just over a decade. And a JMU club very battle-tested, top 50 in the net. NC State back in the top 25, and we're underway here in Raleigh. Right off the jump, Rivers gets the basketball, and a quick start for Sinai Rivers.
That's a good start there for Sinai, being able to read that defender, trying to clog the paint, but she hit the mid-range to start it off with the game.
Sinai Rivers came in shooting at 41%. That was a point of emphasis, getting her more involved offensively. As here's Jamia Hazel, her first look. Jamia Hazel, my apologies. Jamia, the homegrown kid from Raleigh, from Southeast Raleigh High School. She's got a pack of people right behind the visiting bench tonight. What a neat moment returning to her hometown here, Kai.
It's huge. You know, we played on the same organization, Carolina Flames. We also played against each other at Millbrook High School. You have an alumni over there, Alex Tomlinson, now also played at Millbrook as well.
A lot of good basketball here in the city of Raleigh. Hazel has a chance to be the all-time games played leader at JMU, as there's a three for Stevenson. Zakaya out of Virginia Beach and a hot start. There's Westmore starting five. Isaiah James and Sinai Rivers, those two have been electric, but the post presence important. That was an area Westmore talked about. Need more scoring down low with Mallory Collier. Back in transition, here's Barnes attacking. All the way to the bucket, no good. And Collier the board. Hazel, the nearby product, anchors the JMU starting five. As Zoe Brooks flings in with a quick two. How does transition play a factor for the Pack?
In that situation right there, they needed to get back in defense. There was a miscommunication. Anytime that the ball is on the side of the court, you always go strong side of the ball in transition defense.
And the Pack are at their best when they play in transition. Such a fast team off of miss. There's JMU offensively, 70 points a game. That's in the top third in the Sun Belt. Right now, Coastal Carolina leads the league in scoring. And Kozlova off on the jumper, the product of Moscow, Russia. NC State exploded 10-0 start at Louisville Sunday. Much more defensive-minded first 2 minutes here as Collier gets the board and back up.
Collier wasn't necessarily in the best position to get that rebound, but she continued to fight for it and got the ball in the bucket.
Mallory Collier just over 5 boards a game. Good productivity down low. Stevenson in attack mode. Good dish. Kozlova backs down Hayes. Good battle. Kozlova wins it. And the physicality of JMU, that's a mismatch they like down there.
I like to see Kozlova continue to be aggressive down on the paint. That's going to clog the paint. NC State is going to eventually have to clog the paint, but then that gives guards like Jamia Hazel the opportunity to shoot the three.
Isaiah James has it blocked by Hazel. Back in her home city of Raleigh. Aya Stevenson on the push. Barnes, a nice catch. Tough spin. That shot rattles out. Here's Zoe Brooks, the board. Brooks attracting all the attention and gets the friendly bounce at home. Her ability to make plays on the ball, that's impressive to watch.
Zoe Brooks has always done a really good job of making plays on the ball, especially on the defensive end. But here on the offensive end, I like to see how she's really matured as from her freshman from last year and making those buckets.
There's Peyton McDaniel's first shot. Player of the year in the Sun Belt, off for 3. Collier, 2 early boards. NC State 4 of 8 from the field. Searching for a 12th straight home win tonight to close out the non-conference. Brooks in attack mode. To her right. Hangs and hits.
I love to see Zoe Brooks attack the basket. In that situation, Isaiah James was also spotted up in the corner. It gives the defense a hard choice right there. Jamia Hazel does reach with her hand. If she would have stepped in and got her body in front of it, she might have been able to close back out harder to Isaiah James.
Zoe Brooks is cool as the other side of the pillow. To quote one of the greatest of all time from SportsCenter, Stuart Scott, she plays with a different mentality than most players.
And she's super nonchalant about it. It's super nonchalant about it. I love it.
An All-ACC freshman a year ago. Now playing at an All-ACC level this year. One of the top scorers in the league. 13 points a game. She doesn't have the prolific numbers of a Hannah Hidalgo at Notre Dame, but her craftiness complements this offense well.
And I think the craftiness also adds on to the flavor and the fun that NC State has and the enjoyment of playing offense together.
Active hands from Sanaya Rivers guarding Peyton McDaniel, elite mid-major talent. This is Rose Scott, the bench specialist for JMU. Kozlova's 3 rolls out. James minus the headband tonight. Typically wears that night in, night out, but mixing things up. I'm a fashionista here at the broadcast booth with Kai Crutchfield and Evan Budrovich.
Hey, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the headband. You know it.
A lot of ugly Christmas sweaters in the building, and Hayes goes off the window. You more a jack-o'-lantern, Halloween, Christmas? What are you going to sport on your sweater?
I'm not sure. Maybe I just have a big picture of my brother on my sweater, making a silly face. Maybe I can do a little custom work.
Wes Moore is going to look like a Grinch after that call. Not very happy with the defensive foul on his pack. Wes, who's looking very fitting in his Grinch attire. I like the Scooby-Doo look from one of the assistants there, too.
Love it.
Yeah, that sweater should be on Wes tonight when there's a bad call. Wes Moore in year 12, now the second active winning as head coach behind Gino. And this club, 8-3 start for the Pack. Really impressive in the conference. Blowout Louisville Sunday. An early turnover for Angela Williams, the freshman. Active defense from Bree Robinson, the Michigan State transfer. One of 3 grad additions for Coach Sean O'Regan. James, the shot fake, sets up Hayes. And missed 3. And a JMU team that's top 25 in rebounding in the country on the move. Fresh off a nice win at Villanova, down 10 in the 4th quarter. Largest comeback win in 3 years for JMU. And there's a travel to turn things over for Annalicia Goodman, the Newport News product. How does JMU settle into this game? Couple early turnovers.
NC State's doing a good job of speeding them up defensively when they are in the correct position. They just have to settle, let the offense come to them, and do what they've been doing, like, for example, that they did against Florida.
That dominant win over Florida, 4 in double figures for JMU. As James hits the 3, good start from deep. Isaiah James, top 3-point shooter, 24 triples. This is now a 13-2 run for the Pack. Robinson looks for space. Goodman feeds Scott. Rowe a bit off. And the drought continues. 3-minute scoring drought for James Madison. Preseason Sun Belt favorites. Rivers on the switch. Excellent pass. Brooks 1v1. Shot clock under 10. Rivers throws to no one. Good effort from JMU. And an over and back. That's a turnover. That'll lead to a timeout. Good start for NC State shooting.
NC State's done a really good job of finding the open player. Here you see Isaiah James knocking it down, driving into the paint, connecting with the paint, and then dishing it out to the open player.
Back to Raleigh. What a stretch for ninth-year head coach Sean O'Regan. Trip to the tournament in 23 and a berth in the Sun Belt final last season, earning a trip to the WNIT. This is a program at JMU continuing a trajectory upwards, and thanks to leadership here of Coach O'Regan.
Coach O'Regan said, hey, we're going to continue to play hard. We're going to take away the stigma. They played Notre Dame, Texas, and Florida. So when it comes to the NCAA tournament, they're not nervous. They've already been there. They've already been on this platform and on this show before.
And that's it tonight, a 3-minute scoring drought for JMU. How do you break the nerves if you're on the court for the Dukes? Just
settle in. You know, they got the first media timeout out of the way. Now they need to just see what the offense is, read the defense. You see now they're forcing them to the outside.
As
just finding the next person
breaks things down. JMU settling for contested jumpers, and then Rivers' activity. That was an area Westmore noted in our call. He loved the Louisville win, but he liked the defensive effort as well.
NC State's done a good job so far, but that Louisville game really set them to that next level defensively.
Owens giving up 42 points. That's the fewest Louisville had scored since 2010, as Madison Hayes hits the three. And in that year in 2010, UConn won the national title. To give you some perspective how good this defensive team of State can be. There's another miss for the Dukes. That Gino Auriemma club went undefeated, 39-0, holding Louisville in the 40s. Same story on Sunday to open ACC play. 15 years later, Zoe Brooks operates. She was a toddler back then. Crazy to think a 19-year-old was barely cooking in 2010. There's her only foul underneath, guarding Tilda Trieger, the reach-in for Goodman. When you hold a team to 42 points, what does that say about the club?
Discipline. Super disciplined and really honing in on the defensive assignments, whether that's watching film or just beating to the spot, clogging the paint. And it says a lot about the team as well, just working in that team camaraderie. It's not easy to play defense for 30 seconds or to play defense and to hold someone to 42 points a game.
Should give a ton of credit to teams like UNC leading the ACC in scoring defense. And a nice win for Carolina over Florida in the Classic in Charlotte this week, the Jumpman tournament. Here's Tilda Trieger on the board. The true freshman hits the jump ball. Trieger had double-figure boards in garbage time Sunday, but Coach Moore liked her productivity in the second half.
Trieger's done a lot better than she did that first game. You can tell she's kind of gotten those jitters out, maybe got a little bit stronger, got in the weight room, but I can't wait to see where she goes the rest of the season.
There's another steal for this Pack defense. Brooks behind the back, zigging and zagging her way through traffic. Now a crossover. James says, I got your back, young buck. Let's settle things down. Trieger in the block. 6'6" freshman out of Sweden, doubled. And falls out of bounds. Turnover, NC State. That's a growing moment there for Trieger underneath.
It is, and in that situation, she was patient at the beginning, but then she dug herself deeper and deeper under the basket. Once you feel that second defender coming up, just pass it back out, settle down, and then repost.
Trieger, who played for the U20 Swedish national team, got a career high on board Sunday, but an early turnover. JMU still hasn't scored in 5 minutes. Mia Hazel back in her hometown of Raleigh. Sick crossover, and Hazel finds an answer.
That's a great shot by Hazel. She went over the screen, came back across the screen, and knocked out that mid-range. That's going to be her bread and butter this game.
1,200 career points for Hazel, one of the best players in JMU history. Here's Tanaya Rivers on the shot fake, and Barnes with the touch. Ashanti Barnes, the Trinity Valley Community College transfer. And these are the type of plays JMU needs tonight.
Jamia Hazel reads the defense, sees the player roll, and then gets to that sweet spot there on that elbow and knocks it down. I love the fact that she went over it, read the screen,
you see a little Sabria Ionescu in her with that ball handling and making space?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
One of the best players in Oregon history. It's a shame the COVID year ruined her Final Four opportunity. There's a turnover on Brooks. Ionescu was dominant. She went to the New York Liberty, won a title this summer.
Yep. It's sad to say, not only did it ruin her, that COVID ruined her, but a whole bunch of people, especially with us. I mean, ACC, the first ACC championship in how many years? And then we walk up on the court and they're like, yeah, never mind.
That was a stretch of multiple consecutive ACC titles for Kai and NC State here in Raleigh. So Bree Robinson off the bench is swatted away. Wow, Rivers with a big paw, trigger to the floor, and out of bounds off JMU. This activity defensively is impressive.
Yeah, it's very impressive that she stayed in front. She's got that length there. She already knew she was going to jump up and block it. She jumped before she did and got that block. That's great defense there. Efforts by Sanaya Rivers.
Worth noting, Sanaya Rivers did not suit up and shoot around. She was battling an illness, but putting up her Jordan game tonight, playing really well with some sickness. Sanaya, who grew up in the same town as MJ in Wilmington. What a backdoor look. Another pass and a steal for Hazel. Now Stevenson cooking. The ball handling tonight has been really fun to watch. Crossovers, great passing. Elusive block by Trieger. And a foul again on Barnes reaching in.
You like players being aggressive after, a missed shot or a turnover, but in that situation, just run back. There's 2 or 3 of them that are down here trying to hog the ball on Triguer. But, just get back and settle in the defense and then get a stop and go back.
So you're to tell me you never had a sloppy foul? You were
Whoa, I'm human, man. I've never had a sloppy foul, but the thing is, you could have a sloppy foul, but it's the fact if you get caught or not. That's the next statement.
And then Brooks draws the end one. Nice baseline drive.
Brooks is playing a really good game tonight. I'm pretty sure she's at, 4 for 4 from the field? Maybe 5 for 5 from the field?
Yet to miss. 4 for 4, exactly. There you go.
A little scary there when you go up and someone comes up under you, but the concentration to be able to finish the bucket is really good for Zoe Brooks.
5 fouls, so the bonus for the rest of the quarter here for NC State. What a quarter, 8 points for Brooks.
Free throws is one of those things that NC State's kind of struggled on at the beginning of this season, going out through this season. That's something that they might want to get a little bit better as they go into conference play, because at the end of the day, those free throws might really count heavily towards the end of conference games.
Step back. That rolls out. It's been a tough shooting quarter for the Dukes. Loose ball. Stays here with James Madison. They'll have 15 seconds to shoot. 14-2 run for NC State. Couple of blocks mixed in, deflections. No easy looks for James Madison. So Jamia Hazel back in Raleigh operates. McDaniel to pick. Hazel blows by one and misses. Offensive board, Goodman, no. And the final seconds tick off the clock. Dominant first 10 minutes for NC State.
NC State's done a really good job settling in on defense, on offense, finding that open person, and really just attacking it and attacking the gaps.
Start for Zoe Brooks tonight. Season high 21 and a pretty good average coming in, but tonight not only the 8 points but had yet to miss a shot from the field.
She's done a great job getting to that sweet spot, absorbing that contact and getting to the basket. All her touches and all her points are in the paint. She's done a really good job of getting to the paint and just finding a knack for whatever position she wants to be in to knock down that shot.
That's what makes this NC State team dangerous. 5 players average 9 or more, and Wes Moore noted he doesn't know which night who's going to be the Superman.
And I think that's what makes NC State so dangerous, not only right now, but as we go into conference play and we go into March.
Tonight it's the Zoe Brooks game. 8 points, perfect from the field. And sets up Mallory Collier to start the quarter. Here's a steal, but then ricocheted out of bounds. Because if you're JMU, you lost by Texas 30 at home, really good matchup. And that's what Shauna Regan warned. We can't get blown out in the first half in games like this.
He mentioned when they watch film, he pointed out these aren't things that are like, oh, Texas is a great team, but they're things that we did that didn't show. This is what we do as a team.
A program in JMU that's made the NCAA tournament 2 of the last 4 years, has a ton of experience. But in a bit of a hole offensively in the first quarter. More turnovers than points. Here's Collier down low on the switch. Good hands by Barnes, and it stays here. Rose Scott got in there as well. Looks like Collier got poked in the eye.
I don't know. No replay.
Reset with 5 seconds. Here's James, catch and shoot. What a dangerous weapon on the inline. And then another missed rebound. These are examples where JMU is making it hard on themselves.
If two people went up to grab the board, but you have to secure it. I will give credit to Madison Hayes that went in and did cause some of that disruption on that offensive board.
And remember, JMU's the top 40 rebounding team in the country. Really good on the defensive glass. Tonight, having trouble. So James gets the extra possession. Collier banging into Kozlova, but she traveled. An NC State turnover. It's interesting when a player looks so befuddled by a call, right? A lot of players know when they make the foul, but it didn't seem like Collier knew that one.
Coach Moore looked like he was a little confused on that one, too. I mean, he kind of looked like the Grinch there. What do you say?
Hey, come Christmas time, he has the ugly sweater on. You got to look the part. As Deion Sanders says, you dress like the man, you are the man. And there's a foul on the NC State substitute, Lacey Steele. Yeah, because if you're naughty, you're nice. I think in this moment he's naughty, and then he's nice when his team shoots 53% in the first quarter.
I'm sure you'll see a little bit of both here. That's probably why I don't know. I think he said Miss Linda picked out a repertoire of sweaters for him to wear, and I think I like this one right here.
And that's his wife, the second active winningest coach here in women's college basketball, Wes Moore, back in the top 25. And Kozlova's shot is tipped. That'll stay here. But the activity level defensively, we talked about what makes State dangerous in March. It might be their defense more than their offense.
Their length and their athleticism causes some trouble. Not only do they do a good job of keeping their defender in front of them and not worrying too much about the help, just staying in those gaps. I mean, you see here, everyone is playing behind the three-point line and soaking in that paint.
As McDaniel settles for a deep three, we think nationally great defensive teams. Ole Miss, #1 in scoring defense. They're 11-1. They're lone losses to State. But when Ole Miss is guarding you hard, making things difficult, they only give up 50 points a game. That's the effort we're seeing from State tonight.
And that's the effort that we're going to have to continue to see from State, as Zoe Brooks just closed out and got that defensive tip and that defensive block for NC State.
So Steele in transition. JMU just one bucket in the last 6 minutes of game action. Brooks the spin. Outside James. Good rebound from Zakiya Stevenson, team captain here for JMU. McDaniel the kick. Here's the three. Hazel short. And a foul on Collier. Now Kozlova's been a mismatch underneath, giving trouble on that defensive board.
And you can tell now, you can see a little bit of frustration on Collier's end, but you have to give kudos to Kozlova for knocking and bucking, if you will, on the paint and in the block.
I learned a new term tonight, knocking and bucking.
There you go. Hey, learn something new every day.
So the Pack go to their bench. Lorena Owu checks in. Talented freshman out of Illinois. McDaniel held scoreless tonight. A triple team forces a steal. Brooks so elusive in transition. Scored 11 Sunday, has 8 more in his first half. Brooks thought about a three. Here's Steele's turn. That one rattles out. McDaniel the board, top rebounder and scorer for JMU. The fifth-year redshirt junior. Nice vision, McDaniel, and Kozlova puts it home.
That's a great drop-down pass by McDaniel. You can see that there was nobody there on that help side from NC State to drop down on that block. Great find.
Peyton McDaniel, not only her first points, but was an elite scorer last year. Second team all Sun Belt, but held in check today. So Hayes slips through. The angle kind to Madison Hayes. After a high-scoring first quarter, just 4 combined points here in the second. This is Rose Scott, the grad senior, in her 6th and final year. Scott bangs into a woo and then travels. 6 turnovers for James Madison.
I'd like to see JMU settle down just a little bit on offense and get back to what they do best. Passing, rotating, not letting the ball get too sticky. They seem to be a little stagnant on the offensive side.
JMU, to your point, when they score over 70 points, won 90% of their games the last 5 years. And when the offense isn't clicking, it's a challenge. There's Stevenson looking to push tempo. 1v3. Stevenson, nifty, but a turnover to Owu. does the offense come from for State? Wu into 2, gets out of it. Hayes 3, misses. Hazel. Good position, Kozlova, and then a reach in on steal. So that's been an answer for James Madison. Feed the ball in the post.
Feeding the ball in the post makes the one post have to suck in and make sure that they focus on that person that has the ball, but then it also makes the guards have to make a decision. Are they going to try to duck down like Lacey Still just did and cause the foul, or are they going to stay out and let them play 1v1 in the post?
McDaniel deep 3. Ooh, that's way off. Kozlova another board, looks to save it and steps out of bounds. You can sense a bit of frustration here from James Madison, that's played really well against Florida, but then Notre Dame and Texas, a tough first half put them out of reach.
It is a tough first half so far, but coming into the second half, you know that they're going to have that second spurt. They're not any type of stranger to playing a team like this, but then you also have to think McDaniel hasn't been as active on offense either.
There's steal on the kick out, and the Pack continue to miss threes, 2 of 13 from deep. Stevenson running and gunning. Scott to the bucket. Rowe hangs and finishes. Rose Scott, the Marshall transfer who beat JMU in a Sun Belt title, moves across the league and making an impact.
That's a pretty good story right there.
Now Marshall and the former coaching staff now at Virginia Tech this year.
It's a nice pass this year as you see Lacey Still comes up. She stretched out those 2 feet, those 2 steps, and got her to the reverse on the opposite side of the basket. You see there's nobody there on that weak side. A great finish by Rose Scott.
And in terms of interconference transfers making a difference, think of Maria Gokdeng at Carolina. Excellent player at Pitt her first 2 years. Comes to UNC. She dominates Florida this week in the Jumpman Challenge. And Gokdeng has also brought a defensive intensity to UNC.
Oh, yeah. I know how Gokdeng plays. I played against her when I was playing, and she's out there with her dynamic duo with Alyssa Espy as well.
Those interconference transfers so important as we start ACC and Sun Belt play in the next week.
I wonder if it's weird to transfer in conference, like you're going against your old teammates, not just that one time, but you're competing against that conference championship against some of your old friends and old teammates.
Scott, who's joined the party, is the reigning Sun Belt Player of the Week for JMU. Hangs into a Wu and draws free throws. That leads us to a media timeout. Fun night here in Raleigh. Ugly Christmas sweaters all across the building. We'll sing Happy Holidays when we come back. Raleigh, James Madison, third ever matchup with NC State. It's a James Madison team celebrating a birthday tonight. Rose Scott turns 24, the 6th-year senior, the Marshall transfer. And Rose been really good off the bench, too, reigning Sun Belt Player of the Week. Now, tonight, a tough start offensively, but when she's cooking, that's a new element to this JMU offense.
And it's a great element to the JMU offense. When she's hot, it fuels everyone else. Coach said when that confidence comes in, that confidence just doesn't come. It comes because you have to work for it. So Rose Scott has had experience in this game, and it's gotten her to this position now where she's doing really well for JMU.
In terms of bench scoring in the country, she's the 3rd highest point total, 14 a game of any bench player in the country. Scott just 1 of 4 tonight, but adds to her totals right there. Now, do you celebrate the birthday before the game or after the game?
Oh, absolutely after. Because then, I don't know if she's superstitious, but you can't do too much birthday stuff if you're locked into that pregame ritual that you have.
Well, like Michael Scott, I'm just a little stitious. Not on the super side. NC State with a 2-minute scoring drought. This lead is tipped to 9. Tilda Traeger 3 hit her first career triple in the last home game, and another missed rebound for JMU.
I'm not sure what it is. It's like you mentioned before. They're struggling to click. The rebounds is something that they've really excelled on. But right now, I mean, they're walking under the bucket, not really grabbing it with 2 hands. That's something I'm sure coach is going to talk about in halftime. To
your point, it's not just the contested rebounds. It's the one-on-one. McDaniel just dropped the ball. There was nobody around her. JMU, a top 50 rebounding team in the country, but struggling tonight with NC State as another tip possession. And Coach Shauna Regan wants the officials to check this. He thought State touched it last. Sean is a father of 2. His son Liam's a hooper. His daughter Madison Susan, she's on the track team. Great mid-major program. Top 20 in the mid-major national polls. Stevenson pushing tempo. Here's McDaniel. Way short for 3. And Rivers snatches the board. She is literal Spider-Woman out there. Grabs everything. Hayes bangs into Scott. Oh, threw it a bit hard. I think she was expecting contact.
She was expecting contact. That's one of those things where you just got to focus and lock in and hit that ball off the top of the glass.
Stevenson off for 3. McDaniel hustles. Peyton McDaniel, top rebounder, top scorer for JMU, held off the scoreboard tonight. Here's Stevenson. Zakiah crosses, operates. The dish is tipped. Devin quickly checks in the game and gets the steal. The New Jersey product. True freshman. Keep in mind, Zam Jones unavailable tonight. She's on the bench in street clothes. Rivers 1v1 mismatch. Here's the double, and it doesn't matter. Foul on the switch from Bree Robinson.
I like how Shania Rivers got that ball up before she saw the double team coming. Regardless on if it was, she got it up. She elevates so high. A little bit of a height mismatch there on that release.
Another trip to the free throw line for the Pack. They're 0 of 2 tonight. And here's Shania Rivers. Coming up next week, we have a Sunday women's basketball quadruple header, the quad box for you. And Hidalgo and Notre Dame kick things off with Kim Johnson in Virginia, BC, Louisville, Miami, UNC, and wrap up the nightcap, NC State, Clemson as the Pack return home for ACC playoff the holiday. I feel like those games before and after Christmas are some of the toughest for any team.
It's definitely tough because the game before Christmas, you have those anxious jitters trying to get home, ready to get home. But then when you come back, you have to log back in. You're no longer on Christmas break. I mean, with me, with how my family cooks, I have to make sure I stay on the bike or on the treadmill or something. I gain about 10 pounds.
You noted cooking for 30 in your family, so I got to go to the Crutchfield house, just shy of the Virginia border, coming up next week.
Creamy Lake French toast, signature.
Here in Raleigh, the Pack have missed their last 7 shots. JMU has gone 2 minutes scoreless. Somebody wants to eat in the paint, and Kozlova draws a touch foul on Traeger. That's the 5th for NC State. So now free throws the rest of the quarter.
If you're a player right now on both sides, you have to pay attention to how the game is being called. So being physical is okay, but you have to be physical to a certain tee so that you're not putting your team in a situation where they're getting free buckets on the line.
Now Kozlova's 20 of 37. That's a really good free throw. But on the year, she's about 50-50. Kozlova breaking the jinx, goes 2 for 2. Those are really good looks. With that type of stroke, I don't see her as a 20 of 37 shooter.
Yeah.
Easier said than done as Isaiah James re-enters for the Pack. She has just 3 points tonight on 1 of 7. James goes baseline. Into traffic, no. And Kozlova the board. Here's Rose Scott on her birthday. Scott 1v4 has it stripped by Brooks. Zoe with numbers. Nice pass. And James gets back on the board. I call it controlled chaos when Zoe Brooks runs the break.
Oh yeah, you never know. You never know what's going to happen. A couple games back, her and Zam Jones had some type of spin move, no look back pass shebang. I mean, I thought she was going to bounce it off the back of the backboard and someone was going to slam it. Yeah, Zoe Brooks, you can tell she loses it just a little bit, but still gets it off enough in time for Isaiah James to hit the bucket. Still great court vision by Zoe Brooks.
And they've asked Wes Moore, how do you describe these passes? He says, I just hold my breath, and I hope it works out. The Pack have assisted the ball pretty well tonight. 4 dimes on 11 buckets. Here's Brooks looking for an assist, but that one's off. And you can hear the frustration now from Wes Moore. This offense has gone quiet 3 straight minutes.
And that's on both ends. I mean, the score isn't, it's 24-15 right now, and both teams have not been scoring the best. I'm curious to see who's
Stevenson shot fake, gets to the bucket, no. NC State back up 9, searching for offense. Brooks 1v1. That one rolls home. Nice finish. JMU hasn't hit a bucket from the field since the 5-minute mark of this quarter. Brooks playing really tight. Stevenson sneaks through and a steal. Here's James. 1v3. James teardrop. No. Maddie Cox the board. Brooks crossover. Hangs. No good. Tip drill. No easy boards tonight for James Madison. Here's Robinson. Bree gets a screen. Nice jumper. Oh, there's a solution.
A lot of the points from JMU has been coming from the paint. Continue to pack the paint. I'd like to honestly see them be a little more aggressive when they're attacking the paint and maybe kick it out for someone to knock down a three. They have some good three-point threats on this team.
Rivers hesitates. James draws so much attention. Back to James, catch and shoot. A bit off. McDaniel with her 5th board. And now JMU can make this a 6-point game before the half, trailed by double figures in the first quarter. Stevenson runs the point, and an offensive foul on Rose Scott. Little push off. That's her first.
You can feel the frustration here on JMU's end. You see she comes off. Oh, yeah. She did
an acting job there, too.
Yeah. Azaya has always done a really good job at that.
Final 4 seconds. Brooks kicks. Rivers. That's off, and the shooting woes continue for NC State. 2 of 17 from deep. And now a 9-point game at the break.
The score, the shooting has not been great on both offense for JMU and for NC State. I like to see what they come up with and how they settle coming into the second half.
Squad goals, he reached a whole new level for NC State fans, dressing up in Christmas sweaters, having a grand old time. Unless you're that guy. He looks happy, but you can't tell because the Christmas tree on his head. 'Tis the season for holiday sweaters. Low scoring first half. NC State +9 over a feisty James Madison team. And of course, in the ACC conference play just got underway, so half the teams have won, half the teams have lost. Kai, who's a team or two you like in the ACC this year?
I'm looking at Georgia Tech and Notre Dame right now. Georgia Tech is the standing undefeated team here for the ACC, but then you have Notre Dame that's ranked number 3 with these two right here. They beat Texas, they beat UConn, and they've all beat UNC with this backcourt right here.
Hannah Hidalgo could be the player in the country coming up this spring. And then let's not sleep on the leading scorer in the land, Tanaya Latson, and what makes Florida State dangerous.
Tanaya Latson has been going at it in this speed, at this pace with the ACC for the last few years. She's not a sleeper. She's someone that you have to make sure you pay attention to. And she's been going at it here with the 28.9 points per game.
Latson and Florida State really dangerous. And he already was 6 teams ranked in the ACC. It could be a really special year for this league. When we come back, we'll get you all set for the second half. James Madison, NC State. More action continues when we come back. Back to Raleigh, JMU led by good post presence tonight. How about Ksenia Kozlova with 6 quick points?
Kozlova has been a huge presence in the paint for JMU. Not only is she scoring here and getting in the right position to make that bucket for her team, but she's also getting some good buckets at the free throw line.
And then Zoe Brooks starts a perfect 4 for 4, carrying the load for the Pack tonight.
I mean, on the season, she's only scoring 12 points, but she has 10 at halftime.
Doing a lot of things right for NC State. So Merry Christmas. Hope you have a great holiday season. And it's ugly sweater night tonight. So I'm going to celebrate the big man upstairs, Jesus, with my sweater.
Better way to do
she
it.
went more with the holiday theme.
You know, got the fluffy, type here.
The Christmas candles and everything. But one thing we know, it's been hard to find offense tonight. How do these teams find some holiday cheer in the second half?
Making sure that they settle down on offense and on defense. In offense, they're doing okay, but on the defensive end, JMU has not really been able to grab those rebounds, those boards, and that's what they do best.
It also said it's going to party like it's his birthday, so December 25th, you know where to be. We're a few days away from Christmas, and it's been the Zoe Brooks versus Kozlova show. Could be a really good second half.
in a second half for Kozlova, adding on to what she's already been doing and just really being able to facilitate for her teammates. I like to see McDaniel also to get a little bit active and to see Rowe maybe settle down just a little bit. She has a few touches and trying to be aggressive in the paint, but she has gotten the ball pickpocketed a few times when she touches the paint.
Holding JMU to 21% shooting in the game. That'd be the lowest all season for James Madison. A program that has 2 top 50 wins in terms of NET, Florida, and Nova. And then NC State continues to climb up the national rankings. Top 30 RPI. And there's the silent assassin, Zoe Brooks. There's the not so silent assassins of the NC State band. So James Madison basketball to begin the second half here in Raleigh. First meeting since a 2013 NIT tilt. And JMU won that matchup. Their first meeting ever was in 1977. So sandwiching these long years apart here in Raleigh. A very proud and historic JMU program. Kenny Brooks once ran it to 9 CAA tournament titles. And most recently under coach Shauna Regan, the 2023 tournament champs. There's Kozlova on the glass and a good start.
And that's what you like to see from Kozlova. That's the energy that you need when you come back on defense and making sure that they get stops. They have to get stops on defense and then translate that energy onto the offensive side of the floor.
A near double-double, 8 and 7 for the Russian product. Here's Collier underneath. Good block. And Barnes deflects it. Peyton McDaniel, preseason player of the year in the Sun Belt, held scoreless but making a factor. Here's a kick out. Open three. Hazel short. McDaniel the board. Nice pass. Hazel dancing. Another three. Way off. Kozlova the board. Kozlova attacks. Stevenson hangs. Third time no. And Rivers hangs on to it.
In that possession, you started to see the energy of JMU spark up from what it was the last half.
In the first quarter, JMU went 6 minutes scoreless. A similar trend here as Rivers a bit off. But if you're Coach Shauna Regan, how do you find offense in the third?
As you just saw right there, crashing the offensive boards. NC State did an okay job in the first half, but it might be, you know, if JMU starts to get those second chance points, then they can start to get some more points on the board.
That's an offensive foul, so 3 personals on Hazel back in her hometown of Raleigh. She shined under great high school coach Nicole Myers, won a state title 4 years ago. Here's James. Good dish. Collier into contact. That turns it into an and one.
It's great court vision there by Isaiah James as well, speeding that ball through what seemed like 3 defenders. She comes off the screen. You see Kozlova trying to rush back. Daniels comes in and helps. She tries to take that charge, but in that case, just stand straight up and try to just block the shot or just be a presence there to disrupt the shot.
Remember, in the women's game, that arc does not apply. It's the inner circle underneath the basket, but yet that's a blocking foul. So Collier back to the stripe. It's her first free throw and hits it. The Pack had missed all 4 of their free throws in the first half. Kind of an odd offensive game.
A very low-scoring game. Only 29 and 19 in the second half.
And then McDaniels gets going. 5 double-doubles this year. McDaniel has the rebounding part. Finally gets the scoring going.
And if you're Coach Sean, that's who you want to see get hot. She stems off of her 3-point game and then has added to it this season with her drives and with her attacks.
One of the best players in the Sun Belt orchestrating a comeback. James hangs. Nice bucket. So tough to defend on those cross-court shots. Isaiah James, preseason All-ACC, battling with Kozlova. Gets the double. Barnes blows by. Draws the foul! Hang on, Ashanti Barnes to the line for 3.
Barnes is so athletic. You saw, as you said, she hung there in the air as she went and absorbed that contact at the same time. She's just a hard force. Now she gets to the line to make that old-fashioned 3-point play.
That's the old hold your hands in the air, wave them like you just don't care. Because everybody in the house is having a party. Although she can't complete, hold on a second, lane violation on NC State. That's on Isaiah James. I don't see that very often in the college game, but let's take a quick look. Well, definitely went early, and then a free point for JMU. There's Zoe Brooks, who has 10. She's been everything for the Pack. Remember, NC State scored 72 on Sunday, had 4 in double figures. Here's James on a magnificent pass from Rivers.
That's a great cross-court pass. And you're on the weak side in defense. You do want to stay that 1 foot in the paint, but not closing out quick enough with that sniper, Isaiah James.
And then the sniper in James, she's top 5 in the ACC in three-point shooting. What a duo. Hazel on this end, playing with 3 fouls. Kozlova bangs into Collier, takes her time, wanted a foul, and the jump ball turns possession over. Good stop from Collier on this end. Because that's the bugaboo for NC State. No Caitlin Waymer, no Lizzie Williamson. Who can fill that void at the post position?
Collier has done a good job so far at filling that position. And then you have also Tregear coming in and filling those buckets. So going into the conference and going into ACC play, you really just want to see a good presence. Stand there, protect the paint, and keep your hands up high.
The Pack after plays 2 all-ACC caliber players in the post from a year ago. This is Brooks hanging. Little fadeaway rattles out. And Kozlova's been a monster. 10 boards, 8 points. Stevenson, tough look. And a lot of contact. Barnes fights for it. Who touched it? NC State ball. Is this a pace you like if you're JMU, this helter-skelter?
I think so. You see here on this, Barnes does hustle hard to get that offensive rebound. But going back to your question, I think JMU, this is a good speed that they like to play at. They're playing with more energy, more urgency on offense and on defense.
Isaiah James coming alive, 5 third-quarter points. In fact, she's in double figures now for the 21st straight game. Ball movement here for the Dukes. That battle Notre Dame, Texas, and beat Florida earlier this year. Kozlova doubled. Tough look. Kozlova, the lucky bounce.
Kozlova, 10 dynamite in the paint.
What a monster. The Middle Tennessee transfer. And Coach O'Regan noted, here's a hand check foul on Stevenson. It was Kozlova's point scoring against Villanova that fueled that comeback. When she's playing well, what a weapon for JMU.
Next thing you know, the guards from NC State might have to start doubling down. Collier's doing a good job staying between her and the basket, but that little baby hook that you saw right there is going to be unstoppable.
We see nationally elite forwards that can take over. Reagan Beers has been so good for Oklahoma, 11-1, their lone losses to Duke. And when Beers is putting up 10 and 10 every night, that makes Oklahoma dangerous. That kind of presence here for JMU could elevate them from a Sun Belt team to a tournament scary team come March. As Kozlova subs out. And in comes another bench presence, Annalicia Goodman, the 6'4" redshirt senior. Here's Madison Hayes back in the game for State. Till the Traeger checks in, loose ball deflected to us and out of bounds.
I don't know, that might count as like a rebound?
I was ready for
something.
it. Yeah, raise my hands out just in case.
They put Evan in it on the stat sheet.
You got the ugly sweater ready. You got to make sure you're ready to go. It's all a team broadcast here.
There you go.
Daniel Zolfo, our producer. Great crew here in Raleigh for the 3rd ever meeting, JMU and NC State. This is Isaiah James finding Zoe Brooks. Nice look. James rolls out. Hold on, a foul on the rebound. And I don't know who fouled Hayes, but she somehow got hacked.
That's a great find. That duo there with Isaiah James and Zoe Brooks. And Isaiah James, it's good to see her smiling after a miss like that, especially right up under the bucket.
Is that a smile of, I didn't get fouled, or I'm trying to read into that?
Hey, you never know. As long as she hits these free throws, then, you know, it'll all count for something.
You see the special patch on Madison Hayes' jersey. She's one of 15 players in the country for the KL Servant Leader Award. And what a special honoree for a program like NC State with connections to Coach Yao.
And that shows the type of person that Madison Hayes, not only on the court, but off the court as well.
An emotional leader for this Wolfpack team. Lead extends to 10. Here's McDaniel off on the 3. Zoe Brooks so calm and collected. Another no-look pass. James feeling it in the third quarter. Timeout, JMU.
This is the energy that you like to see, not only from NC State, but from JMU. They're starting to come back alive, and this is what we like to see.
NC State up 13 midway through this third quarter. The Pack have come to life with Isaiah James in the second half, 10 by herself in the third.
Isaiah James didn't do the best job offensively in the first half, but as the leader she is, showing by sight and probably vocally too, but is getting that NC State out of the slump that they were in coming into the second half.
I can't get through my mind the no headband game for Isaiah. It's like there's a missing piece on top of her noggin.
Yeah.
Has worn an Adidas headband every game in her career, at least I can remember.
She's got that new retwist. She wants to show it off.
Well, she's had a good second half to do so. Rose Scott kicks it outside. Here's Barnes underneath on the mismatch. Barnes blows by James, rattles out. Offensive board, foul on Traeger, and we'll take the timeout. JMU looks to get the free throws going when we come back. Another media timeout here in Raleigh. Good battle brewing. 13-point game. We got plenty more hoops on ACC Network Extra.
Here we go, folks. That atmosphere is going to be incredible.
Can you believe it? The first round of the college football playoff begins Friday.
The 12-team college football playoff kicks off Friday. Notre Dame and Indiana, the battle for the state at 8 Eastern ESPN. Then you go to TNT the next couple of days. SMU, Penn State, Happy Valley. Clemson, Texas to wrap things up. And then Ohio State, Tennessee at the Shoe on ABC. Who's your national title pick there, Kai?
I had to get some help from my brother here, but I say Ohio State play Oregon in the second round, but Ohio State would beat Tennessee here coming up soon.
Well, Ohio State win the national title, so I think we're on the same page.
There we go.
Which means they're bound to lose to Tennessee. You can watch that game, of course, all weekend on ESPN and ABC. Ashanti Barnes back to the line, and JMU's tripped into this lead, 11-point difference. It was the Zoe Brooks first half with 10. It's the Isaiah James third quarter with 10 in the quarter alone. This is Sinai Rivers back in the game. James, no look pass. Rivers dared to shoot. You even see James asking her to do it. Clock to 8. James says, I got you. Kick out. Another drive. Extra pass. Hayes with 2. Hayes heaves way off. That's a violation. Stevenson, nice ball. Underneath Scott, hangs and hits.
You can see there were some hung heads on the offensive end here at NC State with that shot clock violation and didn't have as much defensive urgency getting back in transition.
Do you feel comfortable shooting there for Rivers?
Oh yeah, she's hit multiple, against Ole Miss, against these previous games. She needs to be able to step into that and knock those down.
And then Taylor Traeger with the baseline drive. Good move from the freshman out of Sweden. Here's Rose Scott. Great space. Scott holds on. No good. Traeger the board. That's tipped. And it stays here with JMU.
So we got here Zoe going up. Oh, that might have been a little bit of contact there from Madison Hayes. But on the flip side of that, Shiger being patient, comes off the spin and then finishes on that same side.
Really big minutes for Tilda Traeger. She had 10 boards Sunday. A couple of buckets here in the second half. Here's Rivers being dared to shoot the entire third quarter. Finds Brooks. Incredible angle. That bounces out. An old school move from the sophomore. Robinson, all gas. A little ahead of her target. Goodman. Remember JMU, 2 of 16 from 3. And instead a foul with Goodman fighting off Rivers.
It's good. It's good that Goodman tried to get that position, but you have to be a little careful there with your elbows. She wasn't in good position, but then Sanaya Rivers was able to give off a little of the LA acting there to sell that call.
And as Tony the Tiger would say, it's more than good, it's great if you're Westmore defensively. Holding Louisville to 42, holding JMU to 31. And a defensive board by Goodman. Stevenson pushing. Scott all alone. Easy money, but a miss for Rose Scott. Now James in his back and forth third quarter. Zaza lays it ahead. Ball movement for the Pack. Can't leave that shooter open. That time a miss. Her first miss of the quarter. Now Hayes 1v1. Madison backs down. Misses. Good board by Bree Robinson, the ball hawk defender for JMU. Robinson crossover. Rivers top stealer, if that's a word, in the ACC. Goodman hangs on and misses. Neither team scored in 2 minutes.
I think that says a lot about the defensive efforts on both ends of the floor. Coach Sean said that he's picking up that defensive pace, and like you mentioned, hawking that ball for the guards, getting them more steals than they were before.
Zoe Brooks unable to break the 10-10 tie in this quarter. So Barnes goes all gas, lays it off. That's offensive. And Isaiah James takes the charge. And there have been some questionable charge block calls tonight. That time it goes to NC State.
There has been, but you see here, Isaiah James had been sitting there for a pretty long time, so I think that was a call in the right direction.
Yeah, credit to NC State taking those charges, but it's been hard for both teams to figure out where the whistle's going. Okay, so I think Isaiah just pointed to the bench and said, "Where's my headband?" She just pointed to her head. It's like, how do you not know you don't have a headband on?
Robinson returning for James Madison.
You see those numbers for James, really good third quarter, but it's been up and down in this game for Zaza offensively.
I think that also strings along with the Louisville game. She didn't have the best time shooting with the Louisville game, so going back to maybe, you know, when she scored that 1,000th career point, trying to get back into that mojo and get that percentage a little bit higher.
Tilda Trieger getting treated by the athletic training staff. That's Brittany Blunt for some possible blood. Looks like the true freshman's okay. Tilda's still fixing her hands as we come out of this timeout. And then a clock malfunction. It's been one of those quarters here in Raleigh. Everybody's getting ready for Christmas.
Oh yeah.
Final game before the holiday for both teams.
Are you ready, Evan?
Yeah, I'm going to Los Angeles on Sunday.
Well, there you go.
You mentioned cooking for 30.
Hey, that 10 pounds is just waiting for me.
Westmore, who was cooking dinner for his team last night. Here's his steal. Robinson takes and bakes 2 more. Using those old Real Mill easy ovens back in the day. So JMU's chipped this down at 9. Maddie Cox Raiders for the Pack, giving Rivers a breather. Good hands, Robinson, another tip ball. What has JMU done well defensively in this third quarter?
That cat and mouse game, when someone drives into the paint, they kind of give them the decision, hey, am I going to make the pass or am I going to keep the ball, go up for the layup? They've done a really good job playing cat and mouse and trying to make them make a quicker decision on their feet.
Holding NC State scoreless for the last 2 minutes. Trieger extra ball. Lacey steal. Moonball 3 off. Trieger the board. Still some time left. Zoe Brooks 1v1 versus Hazel. And Zoe misses. Here's McDaniel. Can make this a 7 or 6 point game. McDaniel's 3. Oh, way off. A rare air ball from the Sun Belt All-Conference standout.
And she looks and points and taps her chest because they did have numbers on JMU's end, but no one came out to close out to that 3-point line.
That's a shot McDaniel typically hits on the year, 35% from 3. Final seconds for the Pack. James being guarded. Steal, Robinson. Robinson time. Deep two. No. And McDaniel lost the board. Oh, it's been a quarter of missed chances for JMU, and they might reset the clock. The officials might check it, but if you're Peyton McDaniel, you've been so close on a couple plays tonight.
There's a few chances that she's had in order to really regroup, regather. On that one, it just seemed like she was so excited because she knew she was so wide open, but again, grasping that ball and putting it back in the bucket. I'm not sure if there would have been enough time for her to put it back up. I think Robinson might have shot it with only a second left.
Yeah, let's see how much time would be left. Yeah, so if she catches it there with like 1 point something, maybe time to kind of lob that back up to the bucket.
Or maybe tap it, because you know the clock's going down. Don't even come down. Just try to, the tap drill, just tap it back into the bucket.
And they're checking to see when that ball hits out of bounds. That's when the clock would reset.
Even if it is a second, 2 seconds, I think Coach Morris is going to have them pass it back in and not take that chance of stealing that ball.
Given the helter-skelter nature of the previous possession, I sort of agree. You don't want to mess with fire too many times. Yeah, maybe 0.8, 0.9.
As reviewed, the game clock will reset to 0.9.
There we
get
go.
out of bounds at 0.9.
0.9. That is enough time for a catch and shoot.
I don't think Coach Moore is going to take those chances. I mean, if this was, you know, fourth quarter, 0.9 seconds, you know, situational type of game, maybe. But we're still got a lot of 10 minutes left to play. Just get it in.
So now the final second of the quarter, and that'll do it. JMU crawls back, outscores the Pack. It's got a 9-point difference. And the Duke's coming alive in the third.
Robinson does a really good job here taking this steal. This is not the first steal of her game. Being in the driving and she can take in the field right.
Happy holidays and a Merry Christmas this week. Ugly Christmas sweaters all across the building, and some great Christmas sweaters too. That man not as happy as the rest of us here in Raleigh for the holiday season. And this JMU program also getting involved in the holiday spirit. The entire staff made gingerbread houses coming up this week. Look at the good work from Rose Scott and crew. Peyton McDaniel, they're working on her favorite gingerbread house. And then the Wolfpack team had their club over at Wes Moore's house making some nice dinner last night. I love the holiday season. Miss
Linda is a great cook. That's Linda Moore, Coach Moore's wife. I mean, I heard about some cheesecakes, some mac and cheese, a little bit of everything over there at the Moore household.
And Sean O'Regan's club had Christmas dinner last night along with the gingerbread houses before coming to town. Hazel back in her hometown of Raleigh missing the jumper. It's been a slow offensive night, 1 of 7 for Jamia. Here's Sanaya Rivers. The Pack offensively a little stagnant despite having the lead almost every minute of this game. So James gets space. That's 12 second half points. Let's turn the table in the second.
Just the energy, the urgency. Making those stops on defense turns into your offense. You get that energy from your offense. And also just settling down into that play.
That's why James is a top 10 scorer in the ACC. When she's clicking, this team's dangerous. Kozlova, good post position. Has a double-double tonight. Hazel can't find her. Instead calls her own number. McDaniel to tip drill. Sense NC State looking to read and react to everything JMU's doing. A really good defensive unit. Putting James on an island. Good left stop with the all-ACC talent.
And you see there, all of NC State's players, other than Isaiah James, was on that weak side, giving her the clear out for that one-on-one.
As a shooter, you gotta love those clear outs. 19 now for James. This is Rose Scott kicking it. Robinson off on the 3. A lot of 1-and-outs for JMU. 1 possession. They go back to James here. Collier versus Kozlova. Collier short. Kozlova the board. 4th double-double of the year. Hazel. Hezzies. McDaniel. Nice pass. Kozlova there. And a foul. And 1.
And that's the same play that we saw in that first half there. That nice drop down pass from McDaniel to Kozlova. You see here, Jamia Hazel trying to figure out what she wants to do in transition. And then Mallory Collier coming in late here and taking that, getting that foul.
And Kozlova's like, give me the ball. Give me the ball. She's begging for it.
I mean, she's hot. She's got a double-double. I mean, why not give her the ball?
I'm getting her a Christmas stocking. She deserves it. One of her best games of the season for the redshirt senior out of Moscow, Russia. Came to the States to the Montverde Academy in Florida. And now the Middle Tennessee transfer makes this a 10-point game. Here's Isaiah James, who's been cooking in the second half. Goes underneath, and a foul on Kozlova. That's her first. We're going to box out Lorena Owu.
And if you're Kozlova, that's not a bad foul. You know, she still has to work for it, but then it's not, you're not giving her those easy buckets and those free opportunities on the free throw line.
And Lorena Owu's a freight train, such a physical specimen as a freshman. Here's Owu from space. I think JMU will give her that shot. Another tip to a rebound. James Madison beat Florida in the first month, looking for another signature win. McDaniel blows by Cox, flips it up, and home. Nice finish. It's been a tough game for Peyton McDaniel, but if she gets going, this is different for JMU.
Well, but the thing is, she's being a presence on defense too. There's a lot of things that you can do differently on offense, yes, but you still have to make sure that your head is in the game on defense so you don't let your team down.
Madison Hayes travels at an NC State turnover. This JMU team, maybe lost by 30 to Texas, but they've shown some discipline, toughness, hanging around in this game tonight.
They're hanging around, and neither team is shooting the ball well. They are not rebounding the ball well. I'm sure Coach Sean is telling them, hey, let's do what we're doing and what got us here in the first place, and when we were in those same positions against Texas and Florida.
How about Scott for 3? That was way deep. There's NBA range, and then there's Wolfpack range. A top 50 net club in JMU testing NC State tonight. This is Hayes. Air ball. Robinson the board. Wolfpack 4 of 24 from deep. Robinson all the way to the bucket. Hazel steps out of bounds. And a turnover party here in the 4th. I don't know if it's the Christmas jitters or what, but both teams look a little unorthodox offensively.
I'll blame it on the Christmas jitters. Maybe it's all these ugly sweaters in here. They're too much of a distraction.
Those shooting numbers are not fantastic from 3. And it's led to a real tight 4th quarter on Christmas night here in Raleigh. Maybe no one left out cookies for Santa last night. There's James dropping dimes. Hayes open. Put a bit of milk and cookies there. Big 3 for NC State.
Jamia Hazel pushing the pace here in transition. Going into Owu, trying to get that and 1. You saw NC State just kind of lollygag back. They cannot do that in conference play, but I like the tempo that Jamia Hazel had there in that transition bucket.
Waits to our coaches called timeout. We'll step aside here. 11-point game in Raleigh. Stick around for more fun on ACC Network Extra. Welcome back to Raleigh. Isaiah James in the second half is playing at the next level.
The first half, she was a little quiet, but she's heating up here. As you see, she's going off the screen. She's 8 for 20, reading the defense, and then knocking down those open shots. I like to see that she has a smile on her face as she started to get hot here in the second quarter. And she's a volume shooter, and that goes to say, there goes those smiles right there.
14 in this second half alone for James. It's been hard to find offense tonight for either team, but there's been superstars in moments. Kozlova, the double-double for JMU, and then James continues to cook. Here's Jamia Hazel back in her hometown. Missing the free throw. Worth noting if Hazel misses this next free throw in front of her parents right there. Free Chick-fil-A for everyone in attendance. What a homecoming that could be. Oh, my goodness. A loose ball. But hold on, there's a lane violation. Okay, I didn't check the addendum here. If there's a lane violation on a missed free throw.
Well, technically, if you read the fine print, it says 2 free throws missed. Will they count that? She missed 2 free throws in the fourth quarter.
I got to check subsection 7, rule 11.2. With Kai Crutchfield and Evan Budrovich. And technically, does it technically count as a second free throw? Is it? Okay, hold on. So this technically is the second free throw. Wow, what's happening here in the final 6 minutes for Chick-fil-A? Well, there you go. The gift that keeps on giving. Jamea Hazel helping out her hometown fans here tonight. Can you get a milkshake with that third missed free throw?
I feel like that's some type of incentive that they should have.
It is peppermint season here at Chick-fil-A. There's a loose ball out of bounds. If you're JMU, though, this may not result in a win tonight, but the defensive effort has been fun to watch.
Especially here by Robinson. I mean, her spark on the defensive end, getting those steals, and really igniting the JMU defense. You see she got a smile on her face. I almost would have thought she would have dove for that ball right there.
It is a shame JMU's missed 5 straight free throws. This game could be a lot closer. Zoe Brooks, 1v1. Devin Quigley lost track of the clock, and there's a violation. Remember, Zam Jones unavailable tonight with a hand injury. And Sanaya Rivers was battling the flu all day. Wasn't even sure if she would play. She's played limited minutes. And there's Zam unavailable. She'll be back in late December for that final game of the year. Kozlova down low in the double. Stevenson 3. JMU just can't buy a bucket from deep. Up ahead, Quigley catches up. Like Sonic the Hedgehog moving a million miles an hour and draws the foul. I'm on Team Knuckles personally, but Sonic's got some good moves.
There you go. There you go. What was your like Nintendo or Wii? What was your favorite?
Mario Brothers for sure.
There you go. I like to see Quigley here being aggressive. You see there's 2 people. She reverses it. It comes that baseline side. She could have gone up. She's getting 2 free throws at the basket, but she also had Madison Hayes out there posted up in the corner.
Well, this is odd. State's 3 of 8 from the free throw line. And JMU shooting it at 80%. Now the largest lead since the first half for NC State. Back up to 13. Peyton McDaniel held in check. Preseason player of the year in the Sun Belt. That continues a 2 of 9 shooting night. Here's Zoe Brooks, who lit the lamp up in the first half. She was everything for State. It's been the James second half today. Quigley. Shot fake. Under 10. Brooks behind the back. Spins. Needs help. Brooks kicks. Hayes hangs. Air ball. Good defense by JMU. Here's Stevenson. McDaniel gets into Traeger, affected by the block of the freshman. James swings. Quigley, 3. Nice ball move at NC State.
I like to see how they settled down. Everyone ran the paint and then spread out into the wings. And great knockdown by Devin Quigley here. And also have to acknowledge the presence by Trigger, the freshman, Isaiah James pushing it down in transition. And then here you go for yourself, Devin Quigley knocking it down.
So Devin Quigley, her 8th triple in an NC State uniform. It's a fun night for the guards here in Raleigh. Not only what Zoe Brooks and Devin Quigley have done, there's some royalty in the house here for the Pack. Not just yourself, of course, Guy Crutchfield. We'll see some neat alums in the house tonight, including Reyna Perez coming back, fresh off her ACC title run.
Reyna Perez, now she's an assistant over there at Rice.
And there's Coach Perez helping out with Lindsay Edmonds' staff. Rice won a AAC title a year ago.
Look at the bling. Earn that there together. can't help but notice.
I also noticed she's sitting in your season ticket holder seat.
It's okay. Sharing is caring.
It's all teamwork. With Kai Crutchfield, an ACC champion, I'm Evan Budrovich. Pack are 1-0 in the ACC. They'll continue play a week from tomorrow against Clemson. Pardon me, have my days off. A week from Saturday. Is that 3 misses? Actually, I'll get my days right. A week from Sunday. It all blends together this time of the year.
Already on vacation mode, I see.
I'll be on vacation mode in no time. Both these teams will have the rest of the week off, that's for sure. JMU will gear up for Sun Belt play on the 29th against Troy. Devin Quigley lost the ball. Here's Roe Scott. Row your boat to the bucket for an easy one.
You can see the frustration on Coach Moore's face. I don't know if that was a miscommunication from the two, but you have to give kudos to Roe from paying attention to that. There was a little discombobulation.
Nearly another steal. Here's James. A rare miss in the second half. Kozlova with rebound 13. Stevenson swings it. Don't sleep on Roe Scott. Short on the 3. James the board. Isaiah with 5 assists, 5 rebounds, 19 points, and then lost the ball. Robinson the pick. Is that an over and back? Instead, it's a kick ball.
It's a great steal here by Roe Jones. She gets into that passing lane. I don't know if there was a miscommunication there by Zoe Brooks. And then you have it coming up here with Robinson. Really, Isaiah James is getting a little bit too loose there with the ball. I don't know if she was looking to see if there was a play call there from Coach Moore. But again, great defensive anticipation by JMU.
Roe Scott, who turns 24 tonight, has worked really hard defensively. She's the reigning Sun Belt Player of the Week. And that was not rolled it over and back, so it was a kick ball on JMU. Zoe Brooks double teamed. This JMU team causes a ton of problems defensively. Here's the double, and once more needs a timeout. What are you looking for with the ball here for the Pack on this possession?
Honestly, just looking for a good look. I mean, you don't, there's a little under 3 minutes left in the game. You're up by 14. Seems to be some miscommunication here with Devin and Zoe, but just settle down. You have 9 seconds left on the shot clock here. Whether it's a spread, you have Isaiah James that's been cooking on one-on-one.
And part of this is because Zam Jones is unavailable tonight. She's been an elite offensive threat. How do you find that molding when you are missing a top scorer?
Being patient. When your name is called, you have to be ready to step up to the plate. I mean, Zam Jones being out, Quigley comes in, Lacey comes in. Those minutes are now spread a little bit differently on the guards play. And you see here the frustration that Coach Moore has with sharing that with Devin and Zoe having that miscommunication.
Combine that with 21 missed threes. And the naughty or nice shirt will be nice tonight, but right now not the happiest camper, Westmore. I don't see him crack smiles very often during games until it's over, that's for sure.
Sometimes his face gets as red as his shirt does. So.
840 career wins for Coach Moore. Knows how to do it. That time a turnover. Robinson ahead to Barnes. No-look layup. Misses. Now JMU's had a couple of chances to make this an 8-point game. Unable to do it. Here's Quigley on the shot fake. Driving into pressure and another turnover. Here comes Roe Scott with numbers. Kozlova bangs it in. 12-point game.
It's great defensive effort here by JMU, continuing to push. Doesn't matter how much time is left on the clock. There's still some game to play.
Quigley almost steps out of bounds. The Pack have got to find a way to settle down here. 2 minutes to go. There's Quigley with a 3. That one's knocked in. Big bucket for State. After 3 straight turnovers, the Pack handling pressure much better there. Jamia Hazel off on the jump on her homecoming return to Raleigh.
I think this trap at the top of the keys was calling some of that disruption.
James splits the difference and has 21. Remember, 16 of those have come in the second half as Hazel hits a jumper. Good basket with her parents in attendance tonight. Javon and Shakia. And now the foul game begins. Because Jamie only has 2 team fouls. You got to work to 5 in a women's game for free throws.
That's a long foul game, though. To get to 15 points, only a minute left in the game.
Barnes has fouled out. That's her 5th.
Stevenson returning to the Duke's lineup.
Christmas time coming up. Both teams will get about a week off before returning on the 29th. And those kind of games are hard to bounce back from both the into the break and out of the break here the holiday season. Here's another turnover.
1 minute
Stevenson finds Robinson. This game's far from over, what we've seen so far. And once again, the super senior Madison Hayes cleaning up the trash. There's a reach in on McDaniel. Feels like every time the Pack needs something, Hayes makes it happen.
Hayes, that goes back to the award that she won. She's a leader on the court. She makes those dirty plays. She cleans up the offensive board. She knocks down the open shots. She may not be having as good as a offensive productive game right now, but it doesn't go unseen that what she's doing on defense.
She's a member of the K-Yow Servant Leader Award, and I guarantee you she's cleaned down the Christmas table after dinner. Final 30 seconds here in Raleigh as the Pack and the Dukes wrap up non-conference play tonight. Here's Zoe Brooks late in the clock. Traeger on the mismatch.
pass from Brooks.
15 assists tonight for the Pack. The ball movement much better in the second half. And able to pull away late. JMU had it as close as 6 in the second half. Hazel returns to Raleigh and hits a 3. NC State continues to defend home turf. 5th straight win and 12th straight home victory. Wes Moore feeling nice tonight. His club pulls away for a 14-point win.
I think you might see more of the nice side of the naughty and nice on his sweater. Both teams didn't do as well as they wanted to offensively. JMU decided to pick up the slack here on defense in the second half. Was cut a little bit short, but you also have to take your attention to Isaiah James picking up that offensive drought for NC State.
Both clubs head to the Christmas holiday, and what a performance. Isaiah James, 21 points for the 21st ranked team in the country. JMU battled tough all night, but not enough for the Dukes, who dropped to 8-4. Thanks for joining us here from NC State. For our talented crew led by Daniel Zofel, I'm Evan Budrovich with Kai Crutchfield and many more involved in this production. We'll see you next time. This is a presentation of ESPN.